Okay, hi everybody. So this is Miss Amy from the Children's Museum, and we are super excited because we are doing something we've never done before, and we love it when we do things we've never done before. So we are currently in a Zoom with some local astronomy experts and some friends of ours, and we are live on Facebook. And so basically this is our first Brite Stars for Kids ask question and answer session, and anything about space. So you can make comments, put questions in the comments, and we will answer them. So we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. Again, I'm Miss Amy from the Children's Museum. I'm the Education and Experience Manager here. And we'll just go from there. Maki?
Hi, I'm Maki. I'm with the South Texas Astronomical Society. And of course, I'm also working here at the Children's Museum, and we welcome you to our first live feed.
Hey, good morning. I'm Carol Lutzinger, and I'm happy to be here with you today. I'm a solar system ambassador and retired teacher, and I write a star column for the newspaper. So we're happy to be here with you today to answer some of your questions that you might be having.
Hi, I'm Victor de los Santos, also with the South Texas Astronomical Society, and I work very closely with the university and all different kinds of community partners to bring space science outreach to Brownsville and the Rio Grande Valley.
I know you could talk to my name because it's very close to your name. It's really your name.
It is. We have the same first name.
Did I see you in the other Zoom?
Yes, we've been on other Zooms before. You've been here with Carol too.
Yeah.
Do you remember Carol?
Yeah.
Roxana, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Roxana Jimenez. I'm a mathematics instructor at Texas Southmost College, and I'm a space enthusiast.
Alice Elizabeth?
Okay. Hi, I'm Alice Elizabeth Tiger. I'm just a student here, I guess.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 7th grade.
And Zevi?
Hi, my name is Zevi. I'm also a student. I'm going to 7th grade as well.
Victor, do you want to introduce yourself and talk about, tell something about yourself?
What grade are you in, Victor?
I'm gonna go to kindergarten.
Oh, wow. That's going to be
I'm in Pulam. I'm in Pulam.
Pulam Elementary.
My sister is gonna go to Stillman.
Cool.
My sister is gonna go to Stillman. Then my brother is like 16, I think. Yeah, he's 16. And my sister is 12, 4. Okay, yeah, that was my best. I'm not sure.
And Felipe, I think you are the final one. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get started. Carol, you want to just open us up with some current events of what's been going on?
Sure. It's been an exciting week for those of us who are space nuts and astronomy fans, and I have been glued to Facebook and YouTube and everything else that I could be. First of all, we had an amazing comet that was in the sky and not visible with your naked eye, but we could see it through Victor de los Santos telescope, which was really nice. And there have been some beautiful photographs of it on the internet, and it really was a beautiful comet. Then we had an amazing Mars mission launch that happened. It was just one thing after another. This was a great month for space fans that are here today. We sent a spacecraft on its way to Mars, and it won't get there until February of next year. So if it's hard for you to wait for things like it is for me, where we're going to have a long wait. But hopefully that little spacecraft will arrive at Mars and drop its cargo, and we will have some more wonderful images beamed us through satellites about what Mars is like. The mission is called Perseverance, and there's a little special helicopter on board called Integrity, and it's a first kind of a mission of its type, and we're just anxiously waiting to see. And then there was the return to Earth safely, the 2 astronauts who had been the first ones to go into space in SpaceX Endeavour Dragon capsule. Now, Victor in the corner has a model of the space shuttle, and we don't have our space shuttles to send up to space anymore, but we do have the Dragon. And Dragon performed wonderfully. The astronauts came back safe and sound. It was amazing to be able to watch and be excited, and everybody who was watching was dancing a jig. And then our own SpaceX mission out at Boca Chica was trying to test their prototype and launch it yesterday, and it rained like cats and dogs, and there were some other little issues, and so they kind of postponed it, hoping they can test it today, and we'll see that little, well, it's not little, it's quite a large structure, lift 150 meters, I think it was, maybe feet, off the ground, and we'll see. We may have launches from Boca Chica, and that would be amazing, because that's something I wanted since I was about 40 years old, and that's been a long time. Victor, did you want to say something, honey?
Yes, I was gonna say my mom and me were watching it, and on her phone. I was in her bed, she was in her bed, and we saw it couldn't launch though.
Yeah, they have to make sure everything is ready and set, and if there's a problem, they don't want to ruin their little spaceship, so they wait until everything is perfect. I'm glad your mom shares that with you, honey.
Yeah, those spaceships have all these computer systems that make sure that everything's running smoothly, and so it count down to launch. But if the computer finds that something's not right, then it won't launch. And so that's what happened yesterday, but hopefully we'll see that today. So make sure you watch it again. There's a few live streams that go out. That's exciting because we've all seen rocket launches, but pretty soon we'll be seeing rocket launches from right here in Brownsville. Do you have another question?
Yes. Which planet was they're trying to go to?
Oh, wow.
Mars.
Mars?
This is a model globe of Mars. Mars is one of the planets that is closest to Earth, and it's the most accessible, and its structure, the atmosphere and surface is the best for us to send landers to. So we've sent quite a few landers to Mars, and they've explored and sent back wonderful images, and this new one that's on its way is going to send back even more interesting information. Maybe, Victor, when you grow up, you'll be working on one of the missions that goes to Mars. You'll be about the right age.
Do you know the color?
Like which one really hot, or the one next to Jupiter? Which one? It's kind of confusing. They're all different sizes.
Debbie, you know the color
of Mars? Do you know the color of Mars, honey?
Red.
Exactly.
Yeah, like rust.
Yeah, that's why they call it the red planet.
Exactly.
Debbie, did you have a question?
Yes. Are there enough perchlorates in Mars's soil to give an astronaut or someone trying to settle on Mars thyroid issues?
I'm not sure about that. That will probably take more research, and that's why we're sending rovers up. I'm not sure if they know the answer to that one, though. I'll have to do more research on that.
And Zevi, I'll just add something to that. Right now on Mars, there's a spacecraft lander called InSight. And InSight has been drilling into the surface of Mars and measuring vibrations, Mars quakes. The opportunity, Curiosity has also been drilling into the surface of Mars, and Curiosity had, now they're all mixed up. Curiosity has tools on board to test the soil samples that it drills and extracts from Mars. It kind of has a scoop and it lifts it up and drops it in the oven in its body structure, and it analyzes it. So that is a really big question, and we're going to check it out for you.
But it is a lot of work to do.
Oh, yes, it is. And that little spacecraft is doing a lot of wonderful work because people on the Earth put it together. You kids may not know it, but it took, let's see, there's 325 scientists who were working on this Perseverance mission. And it took about 3,000 people all together and about 20 years work to get it to going to Mars even. And so it takes a very long time. If it's hard for you to wait for a birthday or for Christmas, it's going to be a lot harder for these scientists to wait for their information.
Well,
Hey,
Christmas is fun. Just got a lot of toys. Actually, I got this toy from Christmas.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Hey, Carol, a couple of us had the chance to send our name to Mars on that rover, right?
That's true, yes. Mine is on the way. There's another mission coming up in 2026, and right now is the time to get your name on the list to be put on a little microchip to go to that one. And you can just go to NASA, send my name to Mars 2026, and the page will pop up and you can fill it in and know that your name will be etched on a little microchip and you'll be going. 11 million names are on the one that's on Perseverance. They had to take 2 chips.
Wow. Hey, the 2026 one is not yet named, right?
No, it's not. It's just Mars 2026.
And who can name it?
Well, NASA has a contest each time. And this last one for Perseverance and Integrity were named by 2 teenagers. They're 7th graders, and they wrote essays and they suggested names, and then the winning suggestions were put in a pile, and those piles were sent to different science people and astronomy people and space aficionados around the country, and they voted on the ones, and these were 2 teenagers. And Curiosity and Opportunity and Spirit were named by kids that weren't even teenagers yet. They were 10 or 11 to 12 years old. So if you are curious and you want to get into that, keep watching it'll be on Facebook, I'm sure, and tell you what to do.
So if they have a good idea, can Victor and Zevi and Alice Elizabeth try to come up with a name for that rover?
Oh, sure. They don't pick them until about a year before the mission. So yeah, now's a good time to be thinking about it.
Cool. So you guys have 5 years to come up with a cool name for the next Mars rover. And yeah, maybe we'll name that rover and make Brownsville even.
Yeah, exactly. And also you can actually write an essay, and actually have to write a winning essay in order to be, for the name to be put on the actual rover. So yeah.
And the kids whose name is picked get to go to NASA and watch the launch, which would be really wonderful.
Yeah.
So AE, do you have a question? You're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Okay. How long does it take astronauts to train for to go on like a rover or a mission or something?
Roxanne, you want to take that?
Well, what I can share is the story of Clay Anderson. He's actually an astronaut, a retired astronaut. It took him several tries to apply to be an astronaut. He was rejected many times. And then when he was finally selected, he did have to go through extensive training. You have to be physically ready. You have to be mentally ready. You have to be ready to be in a very tight spaces. You're going to be inside a spacesuit, so your body needs to be able to cope with that that pressure. Your mind needs to be able to cope with the pressure of being out in space, away from your family. It would take a lot of time and energy, physically, emotionally, and mentally. So I would say it does take a while to be able to prepare yourself for a mission outside of Earth.
And AE, they also, when they're picked for a mission, they practice for 2 to 3 years every day, except maybe Sunday, and probably a lot of Sundays. They have to work in the neutral buoyancy lab, which is a gigantic swimming pool. That when they're in their spacesuits, they're in their spacesuits and they're under the water, and that it gives them the feeling of being in microgravity. And they have to practice every routine over and over and over until they can do it in their sleep without even thinking about it. So it does take a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of courage, and even their family has to, their family has to go through a lot too, but they all say it's well worth it. Imagine getting to go to the International Space Station or to the moon. That's where we can go now. But going to Mars is a whole nother story. Going to Mars, it takes 7 months to get there with our current technology. And we can't take enough food on spacecraft to get there. And then you would have to stay on Mars for 1.5 years until the planets get realigned to be coming back, and then it takes another 7 months. So the technology is not there, but the time is immense.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so Carol, at the beginning of this call, you mentioned Comet Neowise, right? Can you tell us a little more about that?
Oh, comets. Comets are so much fun. And in the old times, people thought that a comet meant bad news or good news. It depended on what was happening in their neighborhood at the time. Sometimes a disaster hit and they said, oh, the comet told us. And sometimes something wonderful happened and they said, oh, the comet told us. Comets are leftover stuff from the beginning of the solar system, the beginning of creation. Scientists think now that they're way far beyond Pluto in a place called the Oort cloud. It's named after the scientist who predicted and then was discovered. They travel into the solar system, they pass around the sun, and then they head back out to where they came from. And they're clumps. Some of them are 20 miles across, but most of them are not that big. And they're zipping through space. They're dust and ice and different chemicals, and they whiz through space, and they leave a trail of particles behind them. Kind of like when you get home from school and the first thing you do is drop your backpack, and then you throw something on the floor, and then you wander out to the kitchen and you grab some cookies and milk and you leave the milk out. Your mother says, why did you leave the milk out? That's your trail, and your mother knows that you're home. Comets leave a trail of dust behind them, and it stays there. And every year, Earth travels through that dust trail. And that's when we say, oh, we're having a meteor shower or we're having falling stars. This week, we're passing through a trail that was left by a comet that, oh, it's been making its trip back and forth. The first time anybody noticed it was about 40 AD in China. And then in the 1830s, there was a group of scientists who were watching the sky and they said, hey, you know what? We pass through this meteor shower every year during August, and well, let's call it the Pleiades because it looks like it's coming from the Pleiades, not the Pleiades, Perseids, because it looks like it's coming from the constellation Perseus. So this week and next week, if you're outside and the mosquitoes aren't carrying you away, you might catch a glimpse of a falling star or two or three or even more. And you could say, wow, that's from Comet Swift-Tuttle. And it was named after the scientists who discovered it. That comets are a lot of fun. They're beautiful. They leave if you can take pictures of them, they have this beautiful dust tail. And so let me see, I have one. Let's put it up. Let's see. Oh, it's got a reflection of the computer on it. Here is the comet right here. And when you look at a comet, you don't see it so much like that. This comet we could see from Brownsville. I could walk out my front door and see it, which was really amazing. Comet Neowise was really hard to spot because we have so much light pollution. But maybe you'll be a comet discoverer or a comet scientist. Who knows? The world is open to whatever you kids are willing to work for.
So Carol, on going out and seeing a comet, is there a particular hour that is better? I see sometimes it's like, 3 o'clock in the morning, or is it just when it's dark out?
Oh boy, I did something wrong. Let's see, what did I do? I lost
We can still
us.
see you.
There, okay, there it is. Okay, so this meteor shower this month is a good one. Excuse me, because it'll start right after dark, and it lasts. The peak of it will be about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, but it'll last until dawn. So this is a good one for families with kids, except for the mosquito problem. Most of them don't happen until after 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So, but this one is perfect for families.
Oh, great. That's great to know. Well,
And you would, to see the meteor shower, you would go out. It'll start being dark enough to really see about 9 o'clock now, since it's summertime. And Perseus is going to be in the northwest. But if you stand looking south with did I say northwest? Northeast. With northeast over your left shoulder and you're looking up, you'll see more meteors streaking across the sky because they head straight up overhead this way. And so if you turn your back to it, you catch longer meteors and the faster ones. These are really fast meteors. So it'll be fun if the clouds go away and the mosquitoes go away, and I see you've got an astronaut there, Victor. I see your astronaut, honey. Is he busy?
And so should it last through the weekend?
Oh yes, it's through the middle of the month.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we will definitely.
Have any more questions about space?
I know a little bit about space, other than a lot.
So what don't you know that you want to know? Hey, Victor, can you pull up those planets that you had? Can you show those to us?
Did you make that?
Yeah.
Wow, what is that?
Oh, that's
It's like a
beautiful.
grass. It's like a grass of a planet.
Wow.
Very cool.
Which one's your favorite?
This one. The sun.
He almost pointed towards Earth and said, nope.
Mhm. So you like the sun? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because sometimes I don't like the night because I get very sleepy and like you have nothing to do at the night. It's just like everyone's asleep.
But
Like
Victor,
you have to go to sleep.
did you know that while you're sleeping, your brain is thinking up new ideas and your body is getting taller?
No.
Yes, that's what happens when you're asleep. You get taller, you grow, and your body gets stronger, and your brain starts really getting great ideas. So nighttime is a good thing.
Yeah.
If we in the nighttime, we get to see the stars and the moon, and it's just so much fun.
Well, that's the good thing that I like, but what I don't like is that like I have to go to bed like early. I
I
want to
know
do all my stuff.
it's not fair, is it, honey?
No, but my mom gets to watch like TV.
I know it's not fair for the grown-ups, is it, honey?
Yeah.
For you, it's really essential. You have to sleep so that you can grow. You have to sleep so that you can think those big thoughts.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
You just make me a question. That what is not like how does every planet grow? Like, do they grow and stuff?
No, they don't grow. Well, the planet itself doesn't grow, but things on the planet do. Like for our planet, we have lots of volcanoes and they're pouring out lava. And so the Hawaiian Islands get bigger every day. Anytime there's a volcano, there's more land. And if you watch, you can go on Facebook or YouTube rather, and see some volcanoes actually pouring their lava into the ocean and making more Hawaii. Maybe someday you'll get to go there and see it for yourself.
Yeah, the planets were formed after billions of years of space stuff just coming together and being pulled together. But once they're formed, yeah, they usually stay the same size for a while, for a long while. And things on the surface change all the time. But yeah, the planets usually stay the same.
Unless you met the Death Star from Star Wars.
Yes, exactly.
Dad,
Then
let
you're
me
doomed.
tell you something about the Death Star. It's very like a
I see your
large
shirt.
ball. It's like the Death Star is like a big giant ball, and it
Yeah,
has
it's a good thing
laser
it's
on
not
top.
real.
Well, that's basically what planets are, right?
Giant balls.
Well, they are balls, but they don't have lasers. I don't think none of them have lasers.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's true. Let's hope not.
Because they could blast our planet.
There was actually a government project to try and build like a model Death Star, like a huge model Death Star for morale for soldiers. They decided not to though, because
it's a Death
it's
Star.
obvious.
Yeah.
Did you make one? Did you make one though? Like,
You
it's
could
so
make it
interesting.
out of Play-Doh.
Legos. They're Lego
Play-Doh?
sets.
Lego?
Yeah.
A lot of people have it. A bunch of people have the Death Star.
The Legos. I have the International Space Station right there. Carol gave that to me and I made it. And it took me a while, but I put the International Space Station together with Legos.
Carol's good about buying
saw
things
them
that other people have to put together.
We just keep saying everything that we already know.
Yeah, you guys are smart and thoughtful, and we need to get some other kids to call in and ask us some questions. You can tell your friends about it, and maybe we'll do this again sometime.
Zevi and Alice Elizabeth, do you have any more questions?
Not really.
Oh, wait, not early.
Okay.
Well, I think this was a really cool first time having the Zoom.
Wait, I have one more question.
Okay,
go. Answer. Just like,
go for it, Victor.
my mom and me like the rocket. Well, you know how the other rocket worked. That was a good surprise. That the other rocket, you remember that one?
Yep.
The one that landed in the water? The dragon one? That one landed in the water. I was like, why would it land in the water? Are there any spacecraft now in the water?
So
Right,
did you figure out the answer why it landed in the water?
Not really.
Well,
why did it land in the water?
because it did not have a landing system. A plane has wings and it has wheels, and the space shuttle did too. So when the space shuttle came in, it glided in using its wings, and then it landed, its wheels were down so it wouldn't crash. But the Dragon capsule had to come down with parachutes and land in the water because it did not have a landing system like a plane does.
What's a system?
Well, you're a system. You've got your head and your fingers and your arms and your legs and your eyes, and all of you put together makes you, right?
Yeah.
A system is everything put together that makes something. Zevi, I saw your hand up. Did you have a question?
Are you trying to develop any ways to distinguish antimatter black holes from matter black holes?
Well, they haven't come. I don't think there's none of them, but it is true that it is real.
Zev, I'm not up on that. I suppose there are people working on it, but I'm a retired teacher and my brain is not that good. Maybe you'll work on it.
Yeah, those are the big questions of the whole universe that we're still trying to figure out. And even here at the university, they're doing some really cool work on black holes and finding out some of this, how those work. And antimatter and dark energy and dark matter, that's all part of it. But those are still things that we do not know a lot about and are still trying to figure out. So yeah, maybe you guys can grow into the scientists that help us figure out more about those things.
Do you know what the difference is between matter and antimatter? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
They're almost the same, except antimatter has some flipped properties.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same. Can I say a question, please?
Susan.
Can I say a question?
Sure.
Go ahead, Victor.
What makes Jupiter had that red spot?
That's actually a storm. You know how we just had a storm right now, the hurricane that just came through and we had a lot of water? Well, storms happen. Storms happen on other planets too. So the red spot on Jupiter is actually just a really big storm that's been happening for as long as we've been able to see the planet, and it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon.
I wouldn't like a hurricane that lasted for 400 years.
Oh my gosh, that's like a lot of years.
Yes, it is. And that's how long that storm has been on Jupiter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It is, and my project just gonna get a storm from the Jupiter.
Sounds like it. You'll have to put one on it. Maki, did you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted actually to refer to Zevi's question regarding the research that's happening with regards to black holes, antimatter and matter, and all those differences. You might want to refer to CERN, and what they're doing there. because I think there's some relevant research on the CERN website. So if you just go there and type in antimatter and matter black holes, you will find out there's a lot of stuff, a lot of resources. ESA, the European Space Agency, also has a lot of resources on that. So check that out. And actually, I'll put some links up in the post that we do on YouTube, and you can maybe just check out those links there too.
Yeah, that would be great, Maki, if you could do that. And I think for those watching, you know, we hope to do more of these and bring on different guests. So if you post questions, if you send us, you know, what questions do you want to ask? If you would like to be a part of this Zoom, the next time we do it, you can send us a message. And we want to just keep the conversation going. This is a really neat thing, and I'd like to thank Victor and Carol Maki for you know, giving us all this great information. Something I learned today that I did not know was, or I probably knew it, but I didn't hear it explained the way you explained it, Carol, which is why I think you were so talented in your storytelling about faith, is the visual that I had of Earth passing through a comet trail is when those meteor showers happen. I always almost thought of it on the reverse side, like we're here and it's going, but we're passing through, and I just think that's a neat visual. And that's why we're doing this kind of, these topics and these Zooms, so people can hear from different people and stories and ask different questions, and I think it prompts great conversation. So I also want to thank Alice Elizabeth and Zevi and Victor for participating in our first Zoom. We will definitely have more, and we'll bring in your brother Zuzu, Zevi, and AE's brother Ty, and maybe one of Victor's siblings and some other kids. So if anybody doesn't have anything else they want to share or ask, I think this was a great conversation.
Could
Fun.
I tell you, how did Saturn get its rings? Like, what are the rings used for? What is the rocks of the rings, like, what makes it a circle?
Oh boy, that's a big question. And I will, Victor, you want to take it or you want me to go with it?
You can go with it, and I think we'll wrap it up after that question.
Okay. At the beginning, scientists think that there was another moon around that planet, and it got slammed and broken into a bazillion pieces, and gravity pulled all those pieces around to whirl around like a merry-go-round. Have you ever been on the merry-go-round at the mall?
No.
No? Well, I don't even know if they still, I don't even know if they still have the merry-go-round at the mall. I haven't been there in so long. But they whirl around.
I have been there, but I have been there. I went there before, but during this Corona,
Yeah,
like
stopped everything.
Corona, it's just like,
Yep.
it's knocking down everything.
Yep. So little Victor, I tell you what, ask your mom to show you the Cassini mission to Saturn on the internet. And there's some beautiful, beautiful pictures of Saturn and the rings. And it's ice and rock, and it's just whirling around with Saturn because of gravity. Mm-hmm. And something called centripetal force.
We can also post a link. Yes, we'll post a link on the video, so there will be no problem. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. There we go. Okay, guys, thanks so much for your good questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Peace out. Peace out.
Wait, Victor.
Yeah.
I know how Saturn got its rings. If you want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the center of planets, that's the center of gravity, and then around it is a magnetic field. You know how like when you get a magnet and you put a paper clip near it, the paper clip will stick onto a magnet?
Yeah.
Well, every planet has its own. Well, that's because the magnet has a magnetic field, and every planet has its own magnetic field. And over time, sometimes moons will get too close to the magnetic field, and then they'll break apart due to gravity, in a teeny tiny pieces, and then they'll start to orbit the planet and make a ring.
So what you're saying is the rocks got close and it broke that apart?
Yeah, when the moon got too close to Saturn, it basically ripped apart into a bunch of tiny pieces, and then all the tiny pieces started orbiting the planet as a ring.
But what kind of rock? Like, is it our moon or?
Like moon rock. You're just, whatever the moon is made of.
So the rocks from the moon sometimes got too close and they got magneted and then they start orbiting.
Yeah, basically when a moon gets too close to a planet, it'll basically explode because of gravity, and then all the tiny pieces will form a ring and orbit around the planet.
Oh wow! I see that nice herbs you got there on the background.
You boys are going to have to get together and visit each other.
Does it spin?
Yes, the ring orbits around the planet.
No, I'm saying that herb behind you.
Oh.
Does it spin? Because I know a lot of them spin.
Wait, where?
I
have a model solar system up here. I got it when I was like 5.
I actually have some stars in my room. Oh, you have a star shirt? I saw your star shirt there. Why are you wearing a star? Well, it is that planets are really in stars movie too. They're really going out of space. How do they